Hello everybody and welcome to episode 100 of the Save Slot 3 Gamescast. I'm your host, who have given me joined this week by Massive Das Chris Bengelli.
Everyone.
And Mr. Xbox Live CW Lanky.
Hello.
Boys, made it to 100.
Woo!
We're old now, right?
We're old. I mean, this is more than 100. I think we've done like 200 episodes overall.
Yeah.
But this is
Yeah.
100
We lasted
with
longer
Craig.
than the Queen did.
We did. 100 not out, unlike any cricket team ever. And we've got a packed episode 100 today because we've got the Xbox Developer Direct to talk about. We've got our hotly anticipated games and predictions for 2024, which is one of our favourite episodes every year. But before we get to that, let's start with the rigmarole. What's everyone been buying / playing? Let's start with, drumroll please, Chris Pengelly.
Yes. So, I didn't think I was going to have many pickups in this episode. Then I ended up with quite a few pickups this
Shock.
episode.
Alright, Craig, get the calculator.
Right. So, I got my 2 Christmas presents off you two.
Oh yeah, should we do that
sweet.
first?
Yeah.
I
Okay.
need to open one in my member.
Let's do it. We're going to do it. Sorry, boys and girls. I completely forgot. It's actually the 19th of January, but we're going to do Secret Santa.
Mm.
And I have been way nicer to you two than you two have been to me. That's all you need to know.
I wasn't very nice to penguins. So.
You really weren't. So what should we start with? Should we start with... Well, mine are open, so I'll tell you what I got.
Well, I think we've all got one of them, haven't we?
Yeah, so Chris has bought me and Craig Nickelodeon Slime Racers 3 Slime Speedway on the PS5. Thank you, Chris.
And myself is as well.
Lovely.
Yeah.
Super Santa for Craig. Craig bought me Lord of the Rings Gollum on PS4.
Yes, I did. Yes, I did. I really wanted the Xbox version, Dave, because I knew it'd just be simpler and easier, but we didn't have it. So you had to go for the PlayStation
big A
4
letting us
version.
down as well. But thank you anyway, Craig. I appreciate it. And I will stream it, but you have to be in co-pilot while we do it.
Absolutely fine.
So Craig,
Right, Pengy, you go next.
Pengu, you open one of your presents.
No, I opened mine yesterday.
Okay, well you go the one that you didn't like.
Okay, so one of the ones I got was Metal Gear Solid Survive.
That's courtesy of Craig.
Yeah.
Which thankfully I no longer owned. Because
Which means if he owned this and never even put it in his console, because it's not even on his True Achievements. or
Much
his
like
True
Shenmue
Trophies.
3.
Yeah, so if you remember when the PS5 original one died at me and I was like, I hate PlayStation and I had a massive clear out, that's when I sold it, so
Back in the collection.
yes,
Yep.
it's back in the collection. And then the other one was Tales of Symphonia Remastered Chosen Edition.
You're welcome, Chris.
Yeah, that's it's good.
It's a perfect PS Portal game. That was my thought.
Yeah, that's good. Well, that's the second Tales of Symphonia I had for Christmas because I had it a Japanese GameCube version as well off Luke. So
Okay. Will you finish one of those versions? Who knows?
I finished it briefly on the GameCube, so I will play the PS4 version of the game.
There we go. There we go. And Craig, what was your last present?
So I will say one of these has much more care and attention has gone into the wrapping than the other one on this.
Yeah.
If Penguins didn't. This looks like a PlayStation game.
It is.
Slowly sliding it out. Oh, that's not. It's a Craig-ass Craig game. It's Dying Light 2, Stay Human.
Which I couldn't believe you hadn't played, to be honest.
No, this came out really early in the year. Was it 2021?
Yeah.
2020. Yeah, 2021. And I feel like there was just loads of other things coming out or something like that. So
It was
I really
delayed
wanted
a
to
few
play
times,
it.
wasn't it? I think.
Yeah, I really wanted to play it, and it sounded like surprisingly good. I think even the Kind of Funny guys liked it, but there was just like so much coming out. I just never got to it.
And now you can, Craigo.
Now I can on the PlayStation 5. So thanks, boys.
You're welcome. Right, that's that bit done. Chris,
Yes.
let's go back to what you were saying.
Yeah, so back to other pickups and games I got. So I got 3 Japanese games turn up this week.
They just turned up, Dave. He don't know what happened. They just turned up.
It's a long
these
old walk from
turned-
Japan to Wellington.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the first one is Captain Rainbow for the Nintendo Wii.
Oh,
Yeah.
I have no idea what that is.
it's like an
Yeah,
obscure, like Nintendo superhero game.
Yeah, and the game's like you're on this island and stuff, and you got like forgotten Nintendo characters and stuff like that. It feels like the plot of it's a bit like Epic, Mickey, where like Oswald and stuff was like forgotten. It's like
it's a bit of a chaotic game. It's supposed to be quite good.
Yeah, and it never got released in the West.
Lovely.
So,
how much was that, Penguin?
That was $9.99.
I've round that up. That's fine. Okay.
Yeah, and then I got also this insane bundle, Legend of the Star 3 for the Nintendo DS. This is technically the 5th one in the series, but it didn't have a number on the end. So,
did you say Legend of Starfy?
Yeah.
Yes, it's a side-scrolling platformer where you're a star.
Yeah, it's basically Kirby underneath water, as far as I'm aware.
Yeah.
How much was that one?
I believe that was $14.99.
Cool. Okay.
Yeah, so that's for the DS. Obviously, this is Japanese. This one did have a Western release in America and Australia. I'm thinking it was only the Starfleet game that got a Western release, but yeah, this is Japanese. And then the other one is Legend of Zelda 2: Adventure of Link, a Famicom disc system for GBA edition.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is that a good Zelda game or?
No, Zelda 2 is not a good.
It's one of the
Zelda.
worst.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. But I already own the NES edition for GBA, and now I own the Famicom disc system edition for the GBA as well. And I already own it. Yeah, because one's yellow and it says Famicom on it, and one looks like a NES, like grey, like a NES cartridge.
Oh no, I meant are the games different?
No, the same game.
Yeah.
And I already have other ways to play Legend of Zelda 2 if I want to, as well. I have it it's on the GameCube collection, and it's I just think what else it's on.
Switch.
It's on Switch, and it's other ways, but
How much was that one then, Chris?
That was $9.99.
Around that up, okay.
Yeah.
£34 on those three, Davey, and they're never being put into a console.
Oh, Zelda 2 mostly won't be, but the other two will be. I even said in the chat about doing some content, but not really feeling great this week. I didn't do any content on that week. I was going to play some Captain Rainbow.
Okay, Marvel Dentist, am I right, Pengles?
And another Wii game I was going to play, just for you, Craig, as well. But I haven't done that, so.
Sad times.
And then, when I came home today, I had 2 more pickups. You can never have enough pickups. Out of nowhere. Yeah. So, the first one is Noah Amiibo Xenoblade Chronicles 3 Amiibo Double Pack.
Okay. How much is that, first?
$34.99.
Woohoo!
But they've already gone up to like 50 quid at the moment. Already.
But that doesn't matter if you're not going to sell them, does it?
No, but I could sell them and I could make £15 profit right now.
Them, Chris.
Yeah.
That does put us up to £69 though.
Nice.
And the other one that came today was another code, Recollection, for the Nintendo
Why did
Switch.
you buy this, Penguin? What are you doing?
So, yeah.
4 solid points for me in Open Critic, so we're okay.
The biggest bottle job ever for me and Chris, not picking that.
So
how much was that then?
That was $42.96 is a weird price or something like that off Shop 2.
Fucking hell.
Yeah. Because it's supposed to be $49.99, but obviously I'm like
so
gold
if anything,
member
you've made a bargain.
on there.
You've saved money, Chris. They're practically giving it to you.
No, but that's why it's like a weird price, like $42.96 or something like that instead of the $49.99 of Shop 2. But remember, it's 2 games. I remember it's 2 games, Craig, but remade from the DS. So, yeah. So the Switch lives. And then there's another pickup.
Right.
You have another pickup. This is not actually a game, but it's gaming related. I've got the Lego Horizon Forbidden West tool neck.
Okay, so that's something you're actually going to use. So that's probably quite a sensible purchase, Peggy. How much is
I'm going
that?
to build it when I'm on holiday, and I bought it with Christmas money. It was 80 quid.
You know what? I'll include it, Pengy, but even at 80 quid, I
Weirdly,
think that's a good pickup.
Do you want to? And no, I even ordered it on Christmas Day.
Nice.
From Amazon Japan, and it came this week. Not Amazon Japan, Amazon Germany. They had it in stock because it's discontinued, and they had it in stock, and it came this week. So I bought it ages ago, but obviously I wasn't going to mention it until it turned up. Which also is a good segue into something I played this week, and that's Horizon Forbidden West Burning Shores.
And how is it compared to the main game? Because I know me and you were quite critical of the boredom induced from the main game last year.
Yeah. Was it last year that game came out?
2022?
No. Yeah, no, actually, they're 2 years ago now.
It's 2024. I apologise. I'm going to keep doing that. But yeah.
Yeah, it's quite good. Weirdly, because I upgraded from the PS4 to the PS5 version and never played the PS5 version, I can tell you how long it took me to finish just Burning Shores, because that's all I've played. And I did all the side quests. There's only 3 side quests, but it got me a gold trophy doing the side quests, and obviously the main quest and that. 10 hours. So it's 10 hours of more content here. That's side quests and the main quest. There's a few other things you can do. And it's just more Horizon. It looks better. And obviously it's just on PS5 this. And like the water and stuff looks really good. And like, it's weird when you play like the other game I'm playing, Sea of Stars. Playing that on the Portal, which I'm past 6 hour mark on that, and then you go play this and like this looks ridiculous, stuff like that. And when you hear like the rumours of Switch 2 is only going to be like PS4 level, someone like, whoa, Horizon Forbidden West is on PS4. If it, if games look as this good on the Switch 2 or something, yeah, that'd be fine. Yeah, but it's more Horizon fun, and obviously I got my tool deck to build, so all good.
One quick question, Chris.
Yeah.
How did you have access to this DLC?
How did I have access to
this DLC? Did you have to purchase that, or?
So what I did was.
So you had to buy that, didn't you? So how much was that, Chris?
I believe I actually mentioned this last week, Craig.
Wow, I included it this week. I don't recall this. So.
Right, so I believe I said to you last week, I renewed my year's PlayStation Plus.
Right, okay.
Yeah. But instead of giving Sony the 120 quid directly, yeah, I went and bought vouchers, and I got 135 quid of PSN vouchers for 117.
What I'm looking for, Chris, is how much was Burning Shores. This is what we really want.
£10.
You need to add that £130 on, if we're being honest.
Well, that's 117.
That's what I was hoping for, Chris, because that takes you just over £200. £201.96, Dave.
Can you just come over and pay some of my bills instead, Chris?
But one of them, like 2 of them, were bought on Christmas Day, so and it's now the
Jesus' birthday, Chris. If anything.
19th of January.
Yeah, I know, Craig. It's unreasonable to think that Pengels wouldn't waste money in a month, would he?
No.
Unreasonable.
We've just unwrapped Christmas presents and stuff on the 19th of January, but it is like 26 days ago Christmas or something now, so a lot has happened in a month.
Did you play anything else, Chris?
No, I only played those 2 games.
Lovely. Craigo.
So I haven't spent £201 on stuff. I don't think I bought anything, actually. I don't think I have. In terms of playing, nothing on the Switch, nothing on the PlayStation.
Oh no!
And just more Like a Dragon Gaiden, the man who erased his name on the Xbox. And what I will say, boys, is Like a Dragon Gaiden, the man who erased his name, is bloody good, isn't it, Dave?
That's why it was my number 3 game of the year last year, Gregor.
It is good shit. I'm loving it. I am on now chapter 5 of Like a Dragon Gaiden, the man who erased his name, which I believe is the final chapter.
Mm-hmm. It is.
I've just started it. Just done chapter 4 of Like a Dragon Gaiden, the man who erased his name. which is really good. I love the little party bit you do, Dave, where you're just strolling around the little city with your gang
where
of
you're
peeps. You're
causing
going
havoc.
into the bars, and you go to the golf club thing. You got to beat his high score, and you play the dude at pool. You do some karaoke. Oh, it's just Yakuza goodness, isn't it?
Yeah, it's such a good game.
Absolute Yakuza
I
goodness.
hope they do more of these mini games because
I think they will.
so good in its bite-sized like little factor that like it's just a microcosm of Yakuza, but in like a 20-hour bundle, and it's so good. Like it's so underrated because I think people just didn't. I think people viewed it as like ground zeros in the sort of run up to Infinite Wealth. But like it is so much more than that. Like it's such a good game. It's ridiculous how good that game is. Best combat system of the non-turn-based ones for me as well.
The combat's definitely better than Judgment. Yeah.
But yeah, I'm glad you're enjoying it. You can't be too far from the end. I think Chapter 5 goes on a bit because I think it ends about 3 times. And you'll get the Like a Dragon ending, and then it goes on beyond that, and there's an epilogue and all kinds of good stuff. And then of course you unlock the 2 demos for the new game afterwards.
Yeah, so I've also, I think about 15 hours in, so I've done like most of the side quests now. I think I might have like 2 left. I think one of them is the defeat the 4 kings in the Colosseum one, which I did try doing one of them, but like I just wailed on this dude for 3 minutes, and his health bars just kept going and going and going.
You need to get all of your gear a top shit, really. I think.
Yeah. So I don't know if there's some. I probably need to go on the old True Achievements and look at, because I think there's achievements for beating each of them.
There is. It's quite an easy 1000.
Look at some guides. Yeah, it's definitely the easiest of the Yakuza games. I think if there wasn't a lot coming out, which we'll discuss in a bit, I'd maybe go for it. But there is a lot coming out. So yeah, I definitely want to try and maybe do all the side quests, and then I'll do some achievement hunting. Play some. I think there's an achievement for doing the Master System games, right?
Yeah, you've only got to load up like 6, I think.
Yeah, and I think there's one for playing 6 of the arcade games as well, and all of that good stuff. There's the stuff you want in Yakuza. So I'll have a little bit of fun doing some achievement hunting once I finished on it. But yeah, that's it for me. Just quite a bit of Like a Dragon Gaiden, the man who erased his name.
Well, you've got 1 week, Craigo, to get it done.
Yeah, although there might be something in between, Dave. Who knows? Maybe we'll talk about that later.
Maybe we will. Okay, we'll go on to me, because I, much like Craigo, haven't bought anything. Because there's no need, Craigo.
There's not really, is there?
No. So I haven't bought anything. The only game... So I finished God of War last week. On the last show, I believe. And I was dabbling in and out of going for the platinum, and I just can't be bothered. There's too many collectibles. Really, I own the game. I'll come back to it. That's what I tend to do with the PlayStation games. I tend to finish them, and then 6 months later, I come back and do the cleanup. But right now, I just can't be bothered. To be perfectly honest with you. So I've been in.
That's good news for me. Even though we're both on zero.
Right, good news for you. Well, say if I can be bothered, it will come back. But like I said, we'll talk about the new year in the topic of the show. So I've just kind of been between games, really. I've just been kind of dibbling and dabbling. I played some more WRC because they finally patched it. It's fun. It's a WRC game. You know what I'm like. I love a WRC game. And the only other game I've been playing, also I played that on Xbox, so I haven't played anything on Switch. I haven't played anything on PS5 other than the little dabble. And I've gone back to Persona 5 Royal on the Xbox.
Not the Switch.
No, because
you bought the Switch.
I bought it on Switch in a sale a couple of weeks ago. I loaded it up, and even the opening menu looked awful, and I was like, "Oh no!"
On that piece of shit.
I was
system,
honestly, I was like,
"Were you playing on the TV or on
no? I was playing handheld and OLED on my OLED.
And it looked awful.
It looked awful. And then I got to like maybe 20 minutes in, and I was like, "Oh my god, this looks so blurry." So I literally sent it back. Got a full refund, sent it back. And I have it on Xbox, so I was like, you know what? I'll play the Xbox. I've got a save. I'll play it on Xbox, and yeah, so I'm really enjoying that. Game's really fun. Furthest I've ever been, right at the end of the second dungeon. It's just a good game. Who knew? Persona, great game. So yeah, that's all I plan on playing. I've dabbled a few. I think I've played about 4 hours of Cyberpunk as well, sort of on and off, which I am enjoying. I just haven't had a proper... It's one of those games I need a real sit down with it. because it's good, but I just kind of want to play it and like do mission by mission. It's a really good game for sort of like lunch breaks, cyberpunk. So that's kind of what I've been doing little missions here and there. And obviously, like I said, I've got
You met Pam yet?
Yes, that's the bit I just got to.
What a woman!
Well, the game's great as well, especially all the updates. And obviously I've got that and Elden Ring left to do. But yeah, I'm starting a new job in 2 weeks' time, so I'm kind of like the next 2 weeks I kind of have the time to play some games. And then after that, we'll see, because I think it's going to be quite intense, the new job, but we'll see. But yeah, that's all I've been buying, all I've been playing. So let's get on to the first.
But what you were saying about Persona's most pretty wide Persona 3 isn't coming to Switch. If 5 looks...
Yeah, it really doesn't run well. Like, I don't know why it doesn't run well, because it's a PS3 game. Or just because I've played it on the 4K like game consoles before, and I'm like, oh
yeah.
But yeah, I would if you're gonna play Persona 5 Royal, I would play it elsewhere. I don't even think the PS4 version looked that bad, to be honest. But there we go. But yes, Pengi. Before we get to the main topic of the show, we've got the mini topic of the show, which we would have filmed last night, but sadly I was very ill. That's the Xbox Developer Direct.
Yes.
Boys. So. And I mean, I can just go with what they showed. They showed Aria Untold 2, right?
Which looks good
like,
for a 4X game.
Yeah, it looks a lot like Humankind, which I didn't play, and a lot like Civilization, which I didn't play. But it looks, if you like
the idea that turns happen all at the same time. That's saying so you don't have to. If you're playing like 5 nations are playing or something, you haven't got to wait like 20 minutes, or take their turn. So that's something.
It's one of those games, isn't it, where you look at it and you're like, God, if you get into that, that's like, that's your life gone.
I have
Time
done
just
that
disappears
time
to these games.
Civ game, so yeah.
Oh, Chris. Yeah, I don't think any of us are probably going to pick it up, but obviously it is on Game Pass, so I think it looked really good. I like the studio, looked really fun. I really like the Developer Direct, we'll talk about at the end. The next game, in terms of importance, is probably Visions of Mana, which was really cool to see on an Xbox showcase, and kind of like the point I'm going to make in the next big section about this kind of being the Xbox welcoming party to JRPGs now. I think they're at the table now. Look really cool developer, by the way. The Japanese guy with the coat, what a badass.
Yep.
But yeah, Visions of Mana. I mean, Trials of Mana, the remake that came out a couple of years ago on PS4 and Switch, was very, very good, and that was like a modern style action RPG. And this looks in the same vein. Looks really good. It looks kind of like yeah, it looks like Tales of Arise, which I also didn't really play in games like that. But I think it's good to have another one of these on Xbox. Did it really do anything for you, boys?
And oddly, because Square Enix last year brought out about 30 games last year. Depends how you want to count Pixel Remaster. And the year before, they brought out 34 games. And then they literally, it must have been either last night or this morning, time zone, saying that, they're going to cut back as many games they're going to put out and focus on higher quality. And then you look at Visions of Mana, and it does look for higher quality too, compared to Trials of Mana. So hopefully that sort of pays off, sort of thing. Even though I do like the 6 out of 10 Square Enix games.
They also apologise for not being on Xbox as well, because there was a trailer that went up for the newest Final Fantasy 14 expansion that was on the Xbox channel for the summer. So if you're getting Final Fantasy 14 as well, as well as obviously Visions of Mana, I think that's really cool. And does this do anything for you, Craig? Because I know you quite like Ni no Kuni.
Yeah, I thought it looked quite cool. It definitely felt like this was like Square and Xbox saying like, look, we're friends now, guys.
Yeah.
Get us involved in this, and we'll pop this on your Developer Direct, because they had some sort of showcase where they brought Phil out and they all hugged or whatever. So they've been talking about bringing more games to Xbox, and obviously it's the first of this series, isn't it? I thought it looked quite good. I thought it was weird that they showed it and then they didn't put a date or like any Game Pass like stuff on there. I was like, oh, that's a bit odd. But yeah, like I said, it looked very Ni no Kuni. The best take I saw on this was someone on Twitter put, "This is what Pokemon games should look like in 2024."
Yeah, right.
I was like, that is the most accurate shit ever. Fucking Switch could be bothered. This is exactly what Pokemon should look like. But yeah, it looked cool. I like the environments look really good, and the little cute characters look very good.
It's just good to have it. That was the bonus game this year. Obviously, we weren't expecting that. So number 3 in importance, let's go for Avowed from Obsidian, and obviously it's technically a spin-off game in the Pillars of Eternity franchise. They showed a lot more of it. I think it looked really good. I think people like Kind of Funny might have been misunderstanding what they were showing, and we'll talk about that in a second. But I thought it looked really promising. The weapon variety looked really interesting. The character voice acting was really good. The voice, like the whole like Bethesda talking thing, I get why people don't like, but I thought the voice acting was really, really good. And Joe, I quite like the look of it. The point I was, before I let you boys jump in, the point I was going to make is there was a lot of people criticizing enemy AI, and to me that whole bit just looked like a training circle for like where the developers were showing off the weapons. Like it's like the same enemy in like an enclosed circle. Maybe I'm just speaking out of turn, but the dev in me is kind of like, that just looks like they wanted to show all the weapons, so they just got these like really slow lizard dudes.
This is how the little one works. And
like
stuff,
literally, like you know what I mean. So I'm going to give them the benefit of that because they've made great games before. I don't know why they wouldn't have enemies that attack you, but yeah. But Craiger, what did you think of Avowed?
Yeah, I thought it looked really good. I thought when they were showing the different weapons and that, and they showed like the dual wielding wands, and they were just kind of like powering with the wands. That looked great. That looked fun, didn't it? And like you can just switch between like the classes very quickly as well, which could be cool. So you could do some shooty from like far away, then rush in with a big sword or something. This could be cool. Like you said, I'm expecting this to be like literally just be Outer Worlds, but fantasy. Medieval fantasy. So I would expect that sort of like size and scope. Because I think Outer Worlds was like 30, 35 hours, right?
Yeah, about that.
To do pretty much everything, because they wanted everyone to like be able to do everything without spending 200 hours. So I'm kind of expecting that from this. It looks great. Again, it's shame no date. No date.
No, they've given autumn.
Why. Yeah,
I think it will hit that.
I do.
think, and this is speculation, but there's a lot of games around that, and I kind of think they're waiting for people to announce dates for other games, not just internally but also externally, because I don't think they want to put Avowed out the day the Switch 2 comes out, for example. So I kind of think they're kind of going, we'll come out. It's going to be ready to go. We're just going to wait for everyone else to shimmy, and then we'll know where they go.
I think this will launch in a better state than the Outer Worlds as well. Because when the Outer Worlds launched, I didn't think it performed particularly well. I think that was one of the people's biggest gripes against it.
I think it was also wasn't
it was like just before like it was purchased by Microsoft, wasn't it? So it probably didn't have the budget that Avowed had.
No, because it was 505 on there.
Yeah, and then it was on Game Pass, and it was on everything, wasn't it? So
yeah. Even on Switch,
with the budget, it launches in a better state.
Pingles?
Yeah, not much to add to what Craig was saying. It does look good, and fantasy RPG should be good. Even though there's a few fantasy RPGs like sort of this year, so yeah.
Yeah, I think it's just good. It's just a good game, especially for Game Pass. I think this is another advert for Game Pass. Speaking of which, Hellblade 2 Senua's Saga, whichever way around you want to do that, they showed that. Not a game for me, I don't think, but a really, really impressive showing. May 21st. And they're like, it's a shorter game. It's not going to be full price when you buy it as well. So set expectations. I thought it looked really impressive. What's your take on that, Pengy?
Yeah. The first one's not that long, and it's a sort of game like, if they gone, it's 50 hours. I don't know. I think you would get bored playing that sort of thing for like that long. So I don't really worry about the there's all in context of what the game is and stuff, isn't it? That so it's on Game Pass, which obviously is always a good thing. So yeah.
Yeah, I did see people moaning that because it's digital only, and I was just like, who the fuck is buying first party Xbox games? Like, what the fuck are you doing with your life?
I don't know because like Forza Motorsports not even like in the top 100 for best-selling games last year on the MPD, but we know obviously it's very popular because of Game Pass and stuff like that. So yeah, it is one, but obviously there's a whole other thing like a chat from Ubisoft, talking about used games and obviously game stopping used games. There's a whole thing obviously on the internet at the moment about ownership of video games. So I guess saying this is digital only while that's happening doesn't help the situation.
I
If
just,
you're worried
yeah,
about that, you need some bigger priorities in life. Fucking hell.
I think, I mean, we could have we'll do a whole episode about physical and digital media at some point, but I think, yeah, I think it wasn't an issue for Alan Wake, which isn't on a service. I just don't see why you'd be buying Hellblade 2, and they'll do what they always do. They'll do a limited edition at some point, right? It's what Baldur's Gate did. It's what it's what Sea of Stars is doing now, and then you can put it on your shelf if that's what you want. There's no need to mass produce because it just costs the company more, doesn't it? So
Yeah.
But yeah, I think gameplay wise, it looks really cool. Narratively, it looks really cool. Visually, very impressive. I think it's one of those, and I think I've said this. I think we've all said this before. I think if Xbox are ever going to get a game of the year, it's probably gonna be something like this. So we'll see.
Yeah, it looks a treat, doesn't it? It's a real treat. I got that fucking trailer music stuck in my head as well. The one they did with the live performance from that fucking weird band at the Game Awards. I got that just stuck in my head all the time now.
Love that. Yeah, that takes us to the last game, which is Indiana Jones game by Machine Games, executive produced by Todd Howard, and I was very thoroughly impressed, boys. I must say, very thoroughly impressed.
Yeah, it looks really good, doesn't it? Machine games are great, right?
Well, it's one of those. I think you just rely on that quality, so you know it's going to be functional. It's going to look great, and it's going to control fine. So I think you can tick all those boxes. I think story looks quite interesting. I think graphically it looks really good. I just think it's crazy that a game like that, and obviously they confirmed that it's coming to Game Pass, which we didn't know going in, and they confirmed it for this year as well, which I believe because it looks quite done, and it's like, okay, so I don't...
Yeah, they said this 2024, didn't they, I think? Or did they say full 2024?
I think they just
No, I think it was
24.
just 2024. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it's not been confirmed or unconfirmed the rest of the platforms. Or is it just Xbox and PC?
I think it's just Xbox and PC.
Yeah.
So
there would have been a trailer on like the other platforms.
Yeah, so if that is the case, I mean that's huge for the Xbox platform, because like Indiana Jones is a massive franchise, absolutely massive. But yeah, really, this one's one of those where like I really hope it does come this year, because I can't wait, really can't wait. It's probably one of the top. I know we're about to do a whole episode about anticipated games, but it's probably quite near the top for me. But yeah, I think overall, that 5-game showing was really impressive. Last year's was really impressive, so I really hope they keep this format going because I think it was really good. I really enjoy it. I really enjoy this sort of behind the scenes look at a smaller amount of games.
Yeah, and it's kind of good if they do like this in January, then obviously Summer Game Fest, and then they had a little bit of the Game Awards if they do something else at the Game Awards. It's like every 6 months. And when they used to do like Inside Gaming, was it Inside Gaming, Inside Xbox or something like that?
Yeah.
And sometimes you'd watch it and like, it's half an hour long, and all we've learned is there's a new plane coming for Flight Sim or something. So I think this every 6 months approach is not a bad idea.
Yeah, it's a good cadence, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I think I was watching it as well. I was like, that the whole like Game Awards thing is like, oh, this is a celebration of the devs and all that bollocks, and we all know it's not. This like genuinely does feel like that. I think they really highlight the studios and where the studios are. And you actually have these people like talking really passionately about the games they're making. It's a very cool little show that we seem to be getting like every January now. So hopefully they keep going with that.
Yeah, like we didn't even see Phil. Like, you know what I mean? Like they were like, hey, this is for the devs. There's no voiceover. Like, it's really, really cool. And it really just highlights, I think, what Xbox have got going on this year, which is really good. I think it's going to be a really impressive year. So speaking of 2024, boys and girls, we're going to go on to our annual anticipated games and predictions list. We're going to do anticipated games first.
I found our predictions from last year as well.
Oh,
so our,
shoot for Craig. Let us know. Let us know
do
how
you
we
want
did.
to do them now?
Yeah, let's do them now.
Yeah.
One was over under 10 hours of PSVR 2 from Chris Pengelly.
How many did you get?
Me and Dave both went over. I think that's right?
I don't know if
I
he
would
did.
think
Did he?
I could. Right, I'm gonna go right. I'm gonna look that up on True Trophies a second and work out how much PlayStation VR I played.
Okay, we'll move on. But I think we might have been right.
gonna
But I
be-
feel like we're
scary
still not
thing
impressive.
It's close.
It's still not.
It's close.
Yeah, it's not. It's not. No one's really won there, have they?
No.
The other one was, does Dave buy more games than he finishes? Me and Pengy both went no. I think we're definitely right there.
Yeah.
And then the other one was, how many games does Craig buy on Xbox? 'Cause I think the previous year I'd bought like only 2 or something like that all year.
Yeah, something like that.
I'm going to have to work this out. Basically, Dave went 5, Pengy went 6, I went 7. I definitely think Dave is closest. I reckon it's probably 4.
Yeah.
I will work it
you
out.
bought
Whilst,
Hogwarts, Jedi, Resident Evil.
Dead Space.
Yeah, so Jedi, Hogwarts. Didn't buy Ghostwire Tokyo. That was Game Pass. Resident Evil, yeah. Atomic Heart was the Game Pass. Dead Space I bought. Hi-Fi Rush has been Game Pass. So yeah, 4 games. So Dave was closest.
Nailed it.
Yeah, but I guess also that time last year you wouldn't have had the PlayStation. Because I was gonna, because you bought Spider-Man and stuff as well, didn't you?
Yeah, but I did have the Switch. That's why in the thing
Yeah.
it does specifically say Xbox. So you must have thought about that.
Yeah.
Any other
But,
predictions?
But yeah, Pengy, was it over under? I think we were both. I think we were right. I think you were over 10 hours.
No, I reckon it's 7.5. Well, it's 7.5 hours of the ones that are tracked on True Trophies.
Oh, okay.
I knew it wasn't a lot.
But I know I played the Resident Evil 7 demo, which was about half an hour, so that would take it to 8.
The fact
So
that you spend over £600 for less than 10 hours is mental. Absolutely mental. But there we go.
And I feel I must have played something else on there. Yeah, but
You played like a little bit of Gran Turismo. You played.
Yeah, I've looked
like
like
a little bit
race,
of the Horizon game. Is the only thing I remember
I
you
looked
talking
at
about.
that. Yeah.
So yeah, not a good year for PSVR.
Well, I did play this Song in the Smoke demo. That was about half an hour, as
demo.
well.
Like, oh, I can't laugh. It hurts.
Yeah,
okay.
so it's actually under.
Okay, so me and Dave were wrong. We had too much faith.
I was buying it and I had less faith than you two, so yeah.
Chaos. Right, let's get on to anticipated games, boys. We'll round robin. We'll go from the biggest consistent loser on challenge mode first, which is Chris Pengelly.
Yes.
Then we'll go on to, I guess, me and then Craig. So Pengy, your first of your 5 anticipated games.
So my least anticipated,
Obviously,
or my fifth
I
place.
haven't ordered it. I know.
No,
I know
same.
Chris
Fifth
would, but
place one. I put this in there just so there's something for the Nintendo Switch. It's Princess Peach Showtime.
so what about Princess Peach Showtime? Are you looking forward to, Chris?
It's a brand new Switch game. You got to look forward to something on the Switch.
That's what you come to this podcast for. Is that kind of deep insight from 30-year veteran Nintendo owner?
Yeah, you got to look forward to something this year on the Switch, haven't you? Otherwise, you know what? Yeah, otherwise you might as well just be staring blankly at a wall. It's not like else is there to get excited about on the Switch.
Not Mario vs Donkey Kong, whatever the fuck that shit is.
A remake of a GBA game, but this is why I said this is a new game.
I mean, I was.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Dave, after that, yeah.
So my first one on my list is an interesting one. It's a game that I don't know how much of you even know, really, because I think it's kind of gone under the radar a bit, and that is Sandland, which is a Japanese action RPG. That's got artwork from Akira Toriyama, who did Dragon Ball. Dragon Ball and Dragon Quest and all this stuff, and it's made by Bandai Namco, and it's basically like an open world action game, with like vehicle elements, and it just looks kind of fun. It's previewed quite well. It's obviously a new IP to me. So it's just I just think it looks a little bit different. For that type of game. It's coming to Xbox.
The newest trailer that they put out did look a lot of fun, actually. The one they put out where they released the date.
Yes, yeah. I did pick that up on Fantasy Critic.
Nice.
Well.
Yeah, there's been some movement on the Fantasy Critic, hasn't there? So.
Yes, there has been. We'll obviously get to that in another show, but yeah, I think that looks really fun. I just think it looks a bit different. I think it's one of those things. Bandai Namco is such a good publisher that I kind of have faith that, because I was a little bit worried that it was going to be one of those that comes out and hasn't got a lot of depth, but the more I've seen of it, I'm like, you know what, actually I'm quite looking forward to this, and it's a bit different, and it's the kind of game, and I know I sound like I'm bleeding green, but like these type of games are coming to Xbox. I feel like they should be supported, and it's not, I don't think it's even massively full price. I think digitally it's like $49.99 maybe. It's certainly not the $70 on other consoles, so it's like, you know what, let's give that a go. Great go.
So I'll take the obvious one, as I was just talking about, like a Dragon Gaiden, the man who erased his name, and that is Infinite Wealth, which is obviously very soon, the end of the month, like 28th or something. I love the first of this kind of like a Dragon reboot shenanigans. And I think it's very high on my top 100. I like the character. I just like the idea of it being set in America. Something a little bit different, right? Or Hawaii or wherever it is. Because obviously these games tend to share settings and maps, so I think it'd be quite interesting to go somewhere completely different. I mean, I'm hoping there's just endless nonsense about him not being able to speak English and everyone else speaks English and stuff like that. Just silly Yakuza stuff like that, with some ridiculously convoluted, confusing plot line in the background, like all their games.
It does look absolutely massive. In a good and bad way.
Yeah.
But yeah, this one.
Yeah, the
last one was big.
Animal Crossing game in a game, So
and a Pokemon game. It's one of those that I knew would be on your list, so I haven't put it on mine. But yeah, it's out next week. And like I was like, oh, do I? But like,
do I?
Do I have time? But there's like that, and then there's Persona and all blah blah blah. But yeah, I think you're gonna love it. I'm really curious to see what you think of it, because I think it's gonna be some big story stuff. But yeah, great pick. I think it's gonna be a really good game. I think people are gonna forget it. But I think it's gonna do well. It's also very cheap. So when we do this, I like to do this as we're talking. It's on Amazon right now. I believe, as per usual, the Xbox version is the cheapest. And I think it's under 50 yet. It's £52 to pre-order on Series X at the minute, which is, I think, for other games we're going to talk about on this podcast, I think that's a really good price.
Yeah, it's a shame we won't sell this in work, because I have so much of the knockoff Netcard points.
You not got it online? You not use those points online?
Possibly.
It'll be worth a look. Nice. Pengi, game number 2.
Yes. Game number 2 is... So this is the 4th most anticipated.
Yeah, we know how maths works, Pengi.
Yeah, I just remind you, is Don't Nods, Lost Records, Bloom and Rage.
And why are you excited about that, Chris?
It is from so they've got back the Life is Strange team, the original Life is Strange team, and this is their new game. And as you know, Life is Strange is in my top 100. Really like, those games, apart from Season 2. Sorry, Tyler, if you're listening, I don't like Season 2. But yeah, I like, all those games a lot, got the Platinums and stuff, so... Super Strange series from Square Enix. Who knows? So and get this instead, and it looks a little bit Stranger Things as well with the 4 characters and stuff, and from the trailer. And obviously, I've not watched like the latest series of Stranger Things, but obviously the first series and stuff like that was cool. So yeah, a good narrative-driven game. Could be one I actually play on PlayStation because I can see me playing it on Portal, man, making my choices and stuff like that. It's like how I've played some of the Telltale games and stuff like that in the past on Vita, so I could see me doing that as well for this. So, all good.
Lovely.
Mm.
Lovely. Well, I'm following a pattern with mine, and my number 2 is the only game I currently have pre-ordered, and that is Unicorn Overlord, which I have pre-ordered on Xbox, which is £44 to pre-order on Amazon Crago at the minute. So this is a strategy RPG that comes from the watercoloured, hand-drawn art style of Vanillaware. He made Odin Sphere and 13 Sentinels.
Woo!
Big titty games, right? You pervert.
Right,
Dave.
Dragon's Crown. And I love those games. I played Dragon's Crown on Odin Sphere a lot on Vita. Like, I reviewed them, I believe.
I don't own it, and it's again on anything, but I've just never got around to picking it up.
Did I have a huge drop out of Chris then? Did you ever drop out of Chris then, Craig?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Fine, so it's Chris, not us. Sorry about that, Chris. It's Wellington. The hamster's getting ill.
Yeah. I was saying about buying 40 quid PSP games, saying, you know.
God, it's if anything, it's doing the viewers a favour. But yeah, so those games have a very distinct watercolour art style, and then they've paired with Atlas, who obviously make Persona and helped out on Yakuza Like a Dragon and are the masters of turn-based RPGs, and they're making a strategy RPG that looks fun, like looks really, really deep. It's kind of medieval. It looks kind of like a sort of different styled triangle strategy in a way, and it just looks really interesting for a JRPG. And again, it's coming to Xbox. It's kind of how I want to play it. I did toy with the idea of playing it on Switch, but it's actually more expensive on Switch and PlayStation than Xbox, and to me, it doesn't make any sense. It's coming out on my birthday, so that's another little tick towards it. I just think it's a new IP from a team that I really like. Again, it's Atlas Sega, and I just feel like it should be something I want to play. Like, I want to play a variety of games this year that are like just new. Like, I don't want to play too many sequels. Like, obviously I'm gonna play a couple of sequels, but like I feel like the last couple of years have been so sequel and remake heavy that it's just like these type of games, like, you know what, it'd be really fun to just play something new and be like, oh, this could be my new favorite game. Like, you just don't know, do you? But I just think it looks really interesting. The art style I've always loved. They are a bit extreme sometimes. I feel like because this is Sega Atlas, it's not going to be as extreme as, say, Dragon's Crown, which is very extreme in certain characters.
You say that, but I'm pretty sure Atlas has published all their games. And
they have, but they've always been kind of niche releases, and their last few releases have been basically just remasters. I mean, Dragon's Crown Pro and Odin's Sphere Leaf Slicer. I mean,
their newest game was 13 Sentinels.
Yeah, that's not huge boobs, like weird proportions. It's
really,
anime kids, but like,
yeah, it's anime kids that are naked in
it's fine.
Machine robots.
You've played far pervier, Chris. So, but yeah, really excited for Unicorn Overlord. Then stupid.
It's one I am keen on. Here's one I'm keen on. Till the Portal was a thing, I would have actually got that on Switch because I can see that being a good handheld game. But now I'll play it on PlayStation via the Portal.
Craigo, shoot.
So I'm gonna cheat.
That doesn't sound like you.
And I don't give a fuck what you say. I'm gonna go for a game that's already come out, but it looks incredible. Everyone keeps saying it's incredible.
Last of Us Part 2 remaster?
And that's Prince of Persia. I can't remember. Is it the Lost Crown, Lost King?
Yeah, it's the Lost Crown, yeah.
Yeah. But that looks fucking great, right, boys? Looks absolutely fantastic. People keep liking it to like Ori and Metroid Dread, which are both great games. So I'm definitely looking forward to subscribing to Ubisoft Plus for a month, probably once I finish Like a Dragon, Gaiden, the man who erased his name, and giving this a bash. It looks like a lot of fun. Actually, it's very fleshed out as well. It's like a kind of bloodstained length as well, like 25 hours for a Metroidvania, which is very nice.
Yeah, it's been a bit of a surprise hit, that one. I don't think people were expecting it to be good. I'm really glad it is because it's a series I want to come back. I really want that Sands of Time remake to come back. I know I just said about
Oh, I
remakes,
think
but
that's gonna be dreadful.
I think it's dead, to be honest with you. It's dead
Yeah.
if anything. But yeah, again, it's a kind of reboot. If something, and I don't think they've done a proper Metroid. I think they've ever done a Metroidvania, Prince of Persia. I don't think.
No, but Prince of Persia, like the
It's
OG,
a side-scrolling adventure game, right?
isn't that much different. Well, it is, but it's not.
But yeah, this looks really cool. Again, it's like we've said before, it's the utilization of stuff like Ubisoft Plus, because like you'll get that, you'll beat that within the month, and you might play something else. There's some really good games, stuff like the Crew Motorfest that me and Pengy played last year, and obviously Assassin's Creed. So yeah, I think it's again another bit of a win for the subscriptions. And I don't want to sound like a shill, but if that was on PlayStation as well, then you'd be able to do that as well, wouldn't you? But yeah, I think it's a good choice. A good shout there from Craigo. Mr. Pengelly.
Yes.
Game
Number 3.
Number 3.
It's an Xbox exclusive.
Wow.
And the one I'm looking for the most, because it is the most Pengals of them all. It's Hellblade 2.
Nice.
Yeah. Because I love a cinematic narrative game. All they know now is Sonya just needs a kid that's got daddy issues, and then it'll be brilliant. But, can't have it all, can you?
I mean, Senua could have daddy issues.
Oh yeah, she could have the daddy issues, yeah. And then that would be all we need in the world, wouldn't it?
Have you seen Sense now, Penguins? And are you gonna wear a headset to play this?
I may or may not do that.
Surely you've got to. I genuinely don't know why you would fucking play this without a headset.
Yeah. But do you know what else I've done, Craig?
What kind of crimes have you committed this time, Chris?
I've not completed crimes yet. Because I own this game. Obviously, I've finished it on Xbox through Game Pass, but I own it since launch on PlayStation. So I've downloaded it on my PS5, the first one.
Nice.
I'm guessing it's an easy platinum because it's an easy completion on.
Yeah.
It's an easy
Xbox.
platinum. So, do you know what, Dave? That platinum challenge? Well, I might be one platinum down soon, and it might be Hellblade.
I think I'll be flying the white flag because I can't compete with your shenanigans by like next month, Chris. To be honest with you.
Yeah. I don't even know that's huge shenanigans.
No,
Hellblade.
but that'll be the most game you play all year. The rest will be like.
But have you already done 3 like quiz games or something?
No, I
Yeah,
stopped that because I just cancelled it and then did it again, so it didn't count.
It didn't count, but yeah, this was so.
Lovely.
Yeah, so I'm going back to play some Hellblade 1, and then try to get the platinum as well, which I'm actually do because it's just a collectible thing. That's
Yep.
Yeah. So if I follow a guide to the collectibles, it should be all good.
Nice. My next game, number 3, is a sequel. So I'm going a bit back on myself, but it's a sequel from a long dormant franchise that I thought was dead, and is not, and that is Space Marine 2, from Relic at THQ. Yeah, I mean it's obviously been delayed quite heavily into this year, but I don't think that's a bad thing. It just looks like a massive step up. I love the 40k universe. It's one of my favorite universes ever. Even from when I was a kid, I loved the stories. I love everything. It's just there's so much depth there, and a 3-player co-op kind of Gears of War-y third person shooter action
Am I
game.
gonna have to buy this for the Xbox?
Well, probably. I mean, we all own Xboxes, right? But yeah, really, really excited for Space Marine 2. It's supposed to be coming out in September, which is a good time of the year for me. With games, it's sort of away from everything else. Yeah, I just think it looks really enjoyable. I just think it's such a step up to the last game, and it's one of those where it's not gonna be a 9, 10 out of 10. Like it's not, but I don't think it's gonna be a Golem. I think it's going to be a solid 7, 8, like the Destroy All Human games they put out. Like, it's just going to be a fun game. It's just going to be a fun, dumb game, and I'm really looking forward to it.
I'm having this one. I've counterpicked it in Fantasy Critic, and I did say I hope I'm wrong. And you're right, it's like a high 7, low 8 sort of game, but I could see it being a Golem, which I hope it isn't, but you never know.
There's no way it's going to get 30. No way.
Well, not that low, but I can see it being like 62 or something
Maybe.
for reasons.
For not being trendy enough.
Exactly.
Craigo.
Right. I'm going to go for another sequel to a game that I don't think any of us have played, and it's from the main men at Capcom.
Well, it's
Dragon's
got for
Dogma
my
2.
number 2.
It really could. It just looks fucking great, doesn't it, boys?
Oh yeah.
Every trailer they showed just looks fantastic. The last one they showed where they had the big like Titan Colossus thing. And he threw the spear at the bridge, and the bridge shattered, and they were climbing on it, and it looked very Monster Hunter-y, but more single player-y focused. Yeah, I hope this is very good. It sounds like it's got quite a lot of lore, quite a lot of interest in there, decision making, which is always good. So yeah. I'm hopeful, boys. I'm hopeful. So I don't think any of us have played the first one, right?
I played it. I didn't finish it. I played it on 360.
Yeah, I played about 5 minutes, I think, on PS3.
I played more than that. I played a couple of hours. It's fun. It's one of those where I think this is the first true test of the power of Capcom, because since they've come back, they've been unrelenting with their games coming out and just landing. Possible exception, Mega Man 11. I don't think that hit very strong, but I think it hit.
Exo Primal, I think a few
Exo Primal people quite like. I think Mega Man 11,
for what it is as well.
Yeah, I think Mega Man 11 hit for what it was, but again, it's not been a mega hit. So I think if Dragon's Dogma does hit, I think it's a whole new franchise for them, because there's no reason why it shouldn't hit, if that makes sense. Like, it is very much that type of game. The gameplay in the first one was great. It's just a refined Monster Hunter single player game almost for gameplay. I think we're crying out for sort of those type of games that aren't quite Soulsy, but are still big adventure games, you know. So I think it could do well. I'm not convinced it's going to be a 9 or a 10, but I'm also not convinced it's going to be 70s. I think it's going to be a solid 80. I think it's a really good pick for fantasy, and I think it's just going to be a good game, and it's £60. So, Pingy.
Yeah, that was my number 2 one. I actually just watched the trailer recently, because they've been putting out these new trailers like every couple of weeks and stuff, showing the classes and stuff like that. Which there's actually like a load of classes in the game, but they showed the Trickster class and stuff, and it's like, yeah, you don't even have any combat in this class. You use like smoke screens and stuff, so like the enemies will run off cliffs and things like that and stuff to like how you fight them and stuff. So it was like, yeah, I don't know how that works against bosses, like the big colossi sort of type of boss, how a smoke screen works, how you would get them. But yeah, that looked like cool. So, and like you said, a big like RPG that isn't a Souls like is also pretty good sort of thing, because there are either always Souls games now. That's the thing. Or like we obviously had Baldur's Gate.
Souls games suck, right?
And we've had like Baldur's Gate last year and stuff like that.
But that's a PC game. Fuck that shit.
So this stuff, but this is what I was saying earlier about Avowed. It's like a bit of a fantasy RPG heavy, and obviously this is at the start of the year compared to Avowed at the end of the year sort of thing. So yeah.
So you're telling me you've not replaced your number 2, Chris?
I don't have a 6th one on my list.
Useless, Craig, isn't he? Absolutely useless.
Yeah.
Okay then. My number 2. It's difficult because, as I say, I've got a 13, 14 strong list here. My number 2. I mean, let's go for one that's coming out fairly soon. Persona 3 Reload, which comes out 2 weeks' time. Comes to Xbox Game Pass. It's one of those games, right? So me and Chris, when we did the show back in the day, if anyone's still here from the 2016 Pod of War era that me and Chris were in, and we were very excited for Persona 5 when it came out. We were very into Persona 4 because we were Vita stans at the time. We were young and dumb and full of fun, eh? But Persona 3's always eluded us both, because there's never been a definitive version. Like, the 3 versions they've released always had something wrong with them. Whether they don't have content, whether they don't have a certain battle style, whether they're not on certain consoles because Sony. And now finally they've basically taken what is one of, if not everyone's favourite Persona story, put it in the Persona 5 engine, and given it a whole new lick of paint, and they've updated stuff, and it's it's got the incredible battle style, and then the icing on the cake for me is it's on Game Pass, so I don't even have to buy it. It's like, oh, okay, so that's really snuck. Hence why I'm playing Persona 5 at the moment. It's really snuck up my list after watching some videos, and I'm like, you know what, like that looks really good, like really really polished. And really, it's an incredible game to get on Xbox Game Pass. Like it was such a PlayStation exclusive, and I feel like I've sort of not anticipated how big a deal that is. But yeah, really, really excited to play Persona 3 Reload. I'd love to. I mean, if I sit here today and I finish any or all of the games that I'm saying, it'd be an insane year for me, wouldn't it? But yeah, really, really excited for that. Have you given any sort of look or wink towards Persona 3 Reload, Craig?
Not really. This is where Xbox need their fucking handheld or some sort of handheldy thing that's viable.
Could come this year.
Because I see that this could be a good option for that sort of thing.
Yeah, I think it's the closest. I think because you've played Like a Dragon and you've played Ni no Kuni, I feel like you'd like Persona 3 or 5. I really do. Like, if the problem is there's never a drought, right? But if you ever wanted to go, I don't want to spend some money this month, I want to just play a Game Pass game, I really think it's something you'd enjoy. I really do.
It says about 5 months, isn't it? They're like an hour long.
They are
100 hours long, sorry.
So Persona 3, the most recent version of it was 60 hours. It's one of the shorter ones. 5 is like 120 hours.
Yeah, but that was Persona 3 Portable, which you don't run around and stuff.
But equally, it's
you've got to look at like Fez, really.
If you're enjoying yourself, does it matter, Craig? Doesn't matter. But yeah, really, really excited to play that. And yeah, do you think you'll play it, Chris, or is it just going to be one that's completely forgotten by the time you get around to it?
It's a weird one because it comes in a very busy month of February, and there's another JRPG that comes out that same day, which I have pre-ordered.
Yeah. Craigo, you're number 2.
I'll go with that's kind of lost some momentum now. It came out, it was shown, and everyone was like, "This looks amazing." And now it's been delayed, and now everyone seems to be like doubting it. Go for another Ubisoft one. Let's go for Star Wars Outlaws, boys. Because how good did those trailers look?
Yeah,
how good did they look, boys?
I don't really know why people are doubting it. I don't really understand.
They just look great, right? I guess they probably don't think it's coming this year. I mean, that's maybe the big thing with this one. I feel
like financially, Ubisoft have to put it out this year.
Yeah, but those trailers, boys, they just looked amazing, didn't they?
We can live for
nothing else. They can just live for those trailers, right?
So is this another sort of instance? I mean, because I think if we go through mine and yours list, it's very evident how we're playing games this year. But is this another Ubisoft Plus month for you?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Maybe even more than that, because it looked like a meaty game, didn't it?
It's one of those as well. If you line it up correctly, you get it for a month, play something before, maybe go back into the Crew Motorfest after you played it a bit in the month. You know what I mean? But
yeah.
Any interest from you, Pengi, for this one, or is it kind of fallen down your list as well?
No, it does. It does look, good, and obviously they've got like every man and their dog on this game, and the Division games, obviously Massive is the main developer and stuff. They've been fun when we played them, but obviously they can improve and stuff. Hopefully, on what they've built on the past with the that, like the gunplay in that should be good, and like the little creature in the trailers looked like a fun companion. So we always like fun little companions, don't we? So that's
we do. So Pengi, without further ado, you're number 1.
Well, it's the most obvious number 1 in the history of number 1s. It's Final Fantasy VII Rebirth.
So you tell me why you're excited, and I'll tell you why I didn't add it to my list.
Because it's the sequel to Final Fantasy VII Remake, and Remake was fantastic. I think I've got it in, is it the 40 something? I had it in my top 100. I can't remember exactly where I had it. I think it was in the 40s. Yeah, that's fantastic. And if they can just improve that, and obviously where we're going in the story, of what they've said the point of this game's going to go. It's like, well, how's it going to change? What's going to be different? And that's the more intriguing part, because this being a rebirth, not an actual remake and stuff like that. It's like, what will they do different? How will the story play out? And I mean, obviously, got all the cool stuff that you're doing, the golden saucer and all that, good stuff. And like, you can now control Red 13 and stuff like that, and your companions and all that. And you're running around on chocobos, and you got your car and in from the trailers, and we just had a recent one showing Sephiroth again, which I think he's going to be playable in that bit in. Is it Niflheim? The bit in that? Am I thinking the wrong bit, Dave?
I'm gonna go with yes. That
Okay,
sounds
yeah,
about
like
right. His
you'll play.
village, Nibelheim.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Where you'll play as Sephiroth there,
Yeah.
most probably, and that sort of thing. So that should be all good, and the music and it's going to be great.
Yeah, it's one of the, so I agree with you in every part.
Yeah.
But there's one problem, Chris.
That it's £70.
It's £70, and I just don't have £70 at the end of February. It's a tough one because I'm really excited for Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, but I also think I'm going to be excited by it in 3 months' time, in 4 months' time. Like, I think when I see it for a fair price at a time when I have a huge, like, sort of waft of space and money, I mean, if I get to, I'm going away in July, right? So if I get back from my big holiday in July, I've played all the games that have come out already. I've played the Game Pass games. That's $49.99 or £51 or something.
Yeah,
I'll buy it, play it, send it on its way. But yeah, I think from the pure game, if it was just a game, it would be my number one as well, because I'm so excited to see what happens next. But equally, it's still going to be there for me in a few months' time. And I'll see spoilers, of course. I'll see spoilers, but I mean, it's not going to be that spoilery. I've played Final Fantasy VII numerous times. Like, it is what it is, right? But yeah, and I know you want to play the one before, Craigo, but is there any sort of temptation for you to get that at any point this year?
Probably not, because I'll probably try and play the first one this year, and then maybe play that one the year after or something like that. Because there's a lot of big ass games coming out this year, so as we're talking about. So I don't think I'll have the chance to play 2 big Final Fantasy games in 1 year.
Yeah, I kind of agree. I think there's a lot coming out.
Also, going back to Persona 3 Reload, that kind of like why that game mostly not get a look at from me in February, and it's kind of what you're saying about Final Fantasy VII, like the price. I know it's on Game Pass, so I can come back to it in April or whatever, while I'm playing Grand Blue, and then that's going to be like 30-hour JRPG or whatever, and then bam, it's Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, which is going to be 50, 60 hours most probably, I expect, and then then we're into March.
Yeah, I think my issue with PlayStation, and I know I mentioned this last year with a couple of games, like particularly Spider-Man, is I always feel under such pressure to finish it quickly to sell, because I don't want to lose. You know what I mean? Like, if I'm spending £70 on a game, or even if I get a deal and it's 65, like, I want to get as much of that back as possible, because it's a lot of money. You know what I mean? Like, I know that sounds really silly, but like, I don't know, I've just got a new job or whatever, but like, it's like, I don't have a lot of money at the minute. I'm saving for things and I'm paying for driving lessons and stuff. It's like, I can't, it's really tough to justify £70 and then only get 25 back. It sounds really silly, but it's kind of why I've been enjoying the more Game Pass, even Switch focus, where I've had, because even the most expensive Switch game in £70, you know what I mean? And they don't lose any value. But yeah, it's a difficult one. But yeah, I think it's going to be a great game. And I know I'm going to be jealous watching you play. But equally, then 8 days after that, I get Unicorn Overlord, and I probably wouldn't have finished Persona 3 by then. So it's one of those. But lovely. So for my number one, I mean, there's so much choice here, and the things that obviously I'm not going to do any of the Xbox stuff because we've just talked about it. But Indiana Jones would be my number one. But I'll leave that for either Craig, or we've already talked about it enough. So it's not one that I want to put on there. If we're going for new IP, so I'm going to cheat and I'm going to have 2. So for a remake, Paper Mario: The Thousand Year Door is absolutely on here, because I have never finished that game. It will be £40. It will be finished and sold, and I'll make £40. And it could come out in November. It could come out in July.
Well, it'd be $49.99, won't it? Like
Yeah,
another code.
exactly.
And
And it'll be fine. The more interesting one, and there is an absolute theme on me this week, is Refantasio, Remetaphor, whatever it's called. The
Metaphor Refantasio.
That's the one. The fantasy Persona.
Maybe fantasy Persona, yeah.
From the Persona 3, 4, and 5 team. Again, there's a theme this week. It's that team doesn't really drop. So they've done Catherine, Persona 3, Persona 4, Persona 5. So pretty flawless record for games there. It's a genuinely different game because this whole school setting is what it is. You know what I mean? Like they've done it 3 times, like they've done it 5 times, plus remasters and side games, and it's like I'm fascinated to see what they can do in a fantasy environment because they're quite adult themed, the Persona games. So I'm really hoping it's a very adult.
You know what it'd be? It'd be a fantasy school.
But that'd be fine if it's like adult themed. I don't want it to be as dreary as Final Fantasy 16. And I don't think it will be because I don't think it can be.
No, I was thinking more like when I was thinking fantasy and schools, I was thinking like Free Houses.
Yeah, I was thinking Fire Emblem. Yeah,
it'd be better than that because Fire Emblem Free Houses is awful. But like maybe
it's the best game on Switch.
It's absolutely not. But they could have like they've got elves and stuff in the picture, whatever. Like it's fine. Like I'm just interested. It fascinates me because I don't know much about it, and it's from a team that I'm interested in. Again, it's coming to all the platforms, so I'll likely get it on Xbox cheaper because for some reason it's always cheaper to pre-order on Xbox. And it's just, I just think it's a really interesting take. I'm just fascinated to see what it's going to be. And I'm going to be an Atlas stan this year, by the sounds of it. But there we go. But yeah, really excited for that.
Everyone loves Atlas.
Everyone loves a bit. Everyone but Chris loves Sega. So, but yeah, that's my 5. Craigo.
Atlas. I didn't say anything about Sega.
They're owned by Sega, so they're Sega. Craigo.
So I was trying to not do the Xbox thing the same as you, David, because we just spoke about that. So I'm going to go with a contentious choice here. Because Pengu seems doubtful it's coming. That's Earthblade.
So what is Earthblade? Because I saw you took it for fantasy.
If
I blacked out?
2D Metroidvania from the makers of Celeste. So it's everything you hate,
really
basically.
Something that's going to be any good. No, I'm joking. It's not something.
Yeah. But it obviously it has a kind of Celeste art style. It looks awesome. And I really like Celeste. I thought this is very, very good. So, like I said, if it comes out this year, I think it'd be one that I'd be very excited for.
Yeah, I just don't think it coming out this year, even though I did bottle the fantasy critic.
Yeah, he bottled the fantasy, which I think is probably wise, Pengu, I'll be honest with you. But,
yeah, I did bottle it because didn't the G-Name one, like, it was gone quite early in there, and then I saw another one it was going on. It's like, oh, quite a few people were starting to pick this game in different fantasy critics and that. I'm like, yeah. It might come out this year.
Yeah, I don't know where you've got it from, but it's definitely not coming out. But I don't know.
It's this year's Hollow Knight. That's what that is.
It could be Hollow Knight and this, yeah. It'd be a good year for 2D Metroidvanias, I guess. If you have this
2D Metroidvanias and turn-based JRPGs, Craig. Apparently, that's
what you need.
That's what we need. Lovely. Well, that's 15 games. I mean, the one I didn't take, I was very close to saying Ayundin Chronicles 100 Heroes Rising, but I don't have 100%.
I should be in the credits of that game, I believe.
Which means you won't play it. And obviously, Helldivers 2 tentatively, but it really needs to be on Plus. That I think.
Yeah, but you can play Foam Stars that month on Plus.
Yeah, that's why I don't have a Plus subscription. Okay, well, let's get on to our predictions. We like to do this fun game, so let's start off with fun predictions. We'll do the same order. Pengi, let's have a prediction from you.
Okay. A Zelda game will release this year. It'll be
so vague. We need a little bit more than that.
It'll be Wind Waker and Twilight Princess HD double pack.
God. Yes or no, Craigo?
It's just this is what Jeff Grubby Grub's been going on about.
Years.
Yeah, I feel like even he's lost faith in that. I'm gonna go no.
I don't see either, but okay.
I have faith because they've got to literally put stuff out between now and whenever the Switch 2 comes out.
So my prediction is in a similar theme. I predict that Craig Warren will not buy one single Switch game this year.
Oh yeah, I think that's a lock.
That is a lock.
I can see the Switch and because I still own pretty much all the games just getting sold. To be honest with you,
It's a
'Cause I
big
feel
wad of money
there's,
when you do.
money there. Yeah.
But yeah, I don't think. I mean, if I want to put a date on it, I think the Switch will be gone by March. I think Craig will get bored, want to clear some space or some money for something, and I think it'll be gone. Especially if if we decide we want to go to Japan next year.
Yeah.
But I think that's gone.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a safe one.
I don't even know what you own now on Switch. You still got my
I own pretty much everything I played. Thank you. Pretty much everything. I've not sold any of it. I've kept it because I know that when I sell it, it will be big bucks on it. So.
You might. And you never play the so-called best game ever made, which
sad times.
Sad times.
Right, prediction from me, I guess. If you just do a general one, I'm gonna go for a controversial one here. The Switch 2 doesn't launch this year.
I agree.
I think it gets announced at the end of the year.
I think it's March 25.
I think it launches next year.
Yeah, I think it's March 25. I just don't think they need to do it this year unless the games are ready. If the games are ready, then it'll come out. But I just don't think financially they need it. They're fine. The big caveat with that is if Xbox or PlayStation announces a standalone handheld, then I think they'll go early.
Yeah. But then it's everything's ready, and if everything's lined up, it's difficult.
Pinky.
You will like this one and won't like this one at the same time, Dave.
Go on then.
Final Fantasy IX Remake is real. It is a PS5 console exclusive.
That would be a shame. But also predictable. I think that's been rumored enough to be true, but how much of a remake it is, I don't know.
I will think it will be.
I think it's Resident Evil. I don't think it's.
No, I think it's Paper Mario type remake, not Final Fantasy VII remake. You know, it's gonna look better, but it's not gonna be like a whole. It's not gonna be a new game like Final Fantasy VII.
Nice. My second prediction is I don't know why I think this, but I do think this. I think Xbox will put out a first-party handheld this year, or at least announce it this year.
I mean, they definitely should at this point, right?
I just feel like they've done a lot of research with the ROG and other handhelds that I think now it would make sense for them to do. They have their Surface range, like it would make sense for them to do it. I feel like Steam Deck has made enough of a dent that I think people at Microsoft are going, 1 million plus users using their PCs, we could have a bit of that. The Switch is doing quite well, and developers are going to have to make games for the Series S anyway. Why don't we just make a Series S with a screen? I mean, and to be honest with you, and I'll say this, if this is announced and does come out this year, me and Craig will be the first people in the line.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Like camped out for weeks in Washington DC to get one. But yeah, I think that could happen. I also, if you want to add an addendum to that, which is a bonus point, if that happens, the selling of my other consoles would be so fast. So fast.
Oh yeah, the Switch would be gone immediately.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, Craigo.
Right. Okay. PlayStation. They got to have something coming out, haven't they?
You'd hope so.
At some point this year, right? So I'll say Ghost of Tsushima 2 comes out. Is that realistic?
I think announced is realistic. I think coming out is realistic. I mean, Ghost of Tsushima's 2020, so.
That's right?
Yeah, so it's 4 years.
Yeah,
let's go for that.
I think there's 2 other studios that are more realistic to have games this year.
But this is Sony. They could also put nothing out and people will still lick their asshole. So.
Hey, they just put out a game today
that you didn't buy. Pengy, next one.
Next one. Half-Life Alyx is ported not to PSVR 2, but Quest 3 as the first Quest 3 exclusive.
Is it not already on Quest?
No.
Okay.
I can see that happening. They're really pushing that hard, aren't they?
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna...
I say Quest 3 exclusive. Obviously, it's still on PC. I mean, it won't be on Quest 2 and Quest 1.
Yeah.
Like Resident Evil 4 VR was only on Quest 2, not on Quest 1. That's what I mean. So, like, oh, if you want to play Half-Life Alyx and you don't want to play it on PC, you got to buy Quest 3 to do that.
Here's my prediction then, to follow on from that. Chris Pengelly will buy a Quest 3 or PSVR 2 this year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I do
can
have
see that
the
happening.
buy prediction in my big prediction list I made on GNamer, but it's not that.
Yeah, I think you'll buy a headset this year.
Mm.
It won't take much either. I think it will take... Alex would be
No, it
one.
didn't take much last time, Dave.
No,
Christ,
I think Alex or one other game that's of any kind of franchise that you like, and I think you're in. I'm surprised you haven't already broken for the Quest 3 because it's got quite good traction. You like tech. So I am surprised you haven't done it yet, but I think it will happen. In the next 11 months, it will happen. So,
No.
Craigo.
Right, well, we can all get involved in here.
That's what I like.
How many first-party PSVR 2 games do we get this year? I'm going to go for a donut.
So, I've got a prediction similar to this written down on my Big GNamer one. Would you count, I'll use an example, Sackboy is a PlayStation exclusive, it's a PlayStation IP, but it's made by Sumo. Would you count that as a first?
That's a PlayStation first-party IP.
Okay,
What
I'm
I wouldn't count is Star Wars VR, published by Sony,
obviously.
but developed
No,
by
I'm just thinking if they went to Sumo again. Let's use Sumo. Can you make us a VR game? And it's a Sackboy VR game. So it's not PlayStation first party. It's a second party title. Would that count, Craig, as your prediction?
Yeah,
okay, there's going to be 2 then.
I think 3, and I'm being really optimistic. But I think there'll be a smaller one. There'll be like a Firewall type game that we forget about from like Firewank or whatever their fucking studios are called. I think you will get a Sackboy or Astro game, and I think you'll get one other random, like a Media Molecule or something. You'll get something like that.
I'm thinking 2, but not actually from genuine Sony first party. Then I think
you're not going to get. I don't think you're going to get Uncharted, but I do think you'll get Astro, and I do think you'll.
No,
get
but I don't even think.
I think you could get another Horizon game.
Yeah,
they've made the tech.
Yeah, but like London Studio made VR games previously. They're not making a VR game. London Studio, for instance. So yeah,
we'll see. Pengy, your last prediction for the year.
Okay, my last prediction of the year. You've seen this one before, Dave, and you don't even get me true, but Apple continues expanding in the gaming market and announced a gaming-themed Apple TV.
That's a bold prediction.
Based on like the iPhone 15 stuff, so it's running like Remake 4 and stuff like that. They've got that tech in an iPhone, so put that tech in a box that you can plug into a TV and play Remake on it.
Okay.
For instance, and Death Stranding, and what else was Village was the other one, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Like the big 3 sort of more AAA games.
Well, I've got a Save Slot 3 prediction. I predict that Chris will buy more hardware than me and Craig combined.
Yeah, I can see that.
So my predictions are a Meta Quest, a PS5 Pro,
a
new Switch, and something random, potentially this Xbox handheld. Whereas I think Craig would buy a new Xbox if it had a disc drive. I think Craig would buy a handheld Xbox tonight, but that is it. And I think I'm the same, but throw in potentially a Switch 2.
So 3 for you, 2 for Craig.
I won't buy 3. There's no way. I mean, you can doubt me all you want. I think 2 is the most I can buy.
Yeah,
I'm just
I'd
trying
say
to be
two,
realistic.
a portable Xbox.
A portable
and a
Xbox
Switch
console,
2.
I would buy. I won't.
And
I'll
a
buy
Switch
unless. I mean, even if my PlayStation breaks, I don't think I'd replace it. If it broke, I wouldn't replace it, and I wouldn't buy an upgrade because what's the point? Switch. If it doesn't come out this year, then obviously I can't buy it, can I? So.
No.
But yeah.
But yeah, you'd definitely buy a Switch 2, like at launch.
If it comes
I would
out
think.
this year, then
Yeah.
I think there's a good chance. But
Plus, you would use it to play some like local multiplayer and stuff like that.
yeah, for sure.
Like Mario Party. Obviously, Mario Party, that was going to be a launch game, but to have some launch game that you'd play, that sort. So I can definitely see the Switch 2. I can definitely see a Xbox portable thing being bought. So I can see 2 from you. And I can see the Xbox portable from Craig. So that's 3. So.
What do you reckon? Is that a safe bet, Craigo?
So I reckon.
Right, Craigo, take us home, boy. Hour and 25 minutes.
Right. I reckon Dave breaks and gets Final Fantasy Remake 7 Part 2, whatever the fuck it's called, at launch or near launch.
So
I don't believe Dave can hold.
It comes out on the 29th of February.
Because I think.
So when is my deadline? March 31st?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think this. I don't think Dave goes out and buys the second place or the third PlayStation 5, whatever it is you're up to, Davey,
and not play the big game on it.
The big PlayStation 5 game this
also,
year.
His birthday's like the start of March. I don't know why he just doesn't ask for this for his birthday instead of Unicorn Overlord, but
No, I'll buy Unicorn Overlord for myself. No, I'd take that, but I don't think it's going to happen. If I don't buy it in the first day, then I won't buy it in a month. But if I get to the first day and I buy it, then obviously I'll buy it. But I just don't think I will. I honestly just don't think I will. It's
you
such
say that, but
an
you saw
outlier.
You saw me and Craig suddenly turn our PlayStations back on 6 weeks later. This would be a
Right. Well, yeah, no, I know what I'm like. I'm not trying to deny what I'm like. I just think this time, I don't even think it will get bought for me, to be honest with you, because I haven't really asked for it. I'm kind of like, it's a lot of money to ask a partner to buy. I feel like I'll be 34. I don't want to be like, can I have a video game? Like, you know what I mean? I've also got a driving test 2 days before, so that's a big factor in all of this.
There you go. Little present for yourself. Yeah.
Or it's gone horribly wrong and I now have to pay for more lessons, in which case, no chance.
Or it's gone horribly wrong and you're like, I want to cheer myself up by Final Fantasy.
No, I'd probably buy some alcohol. But yeah. Well, boys, that is our 2024 episode. It's our 100th episode. So if you've got this far, like it, subscribe it, and just to say a big thanks for watching 100 episodes of the most recent version of this. Obviously 101, I don't know what we're going to do for 101, but I'm sure it'll be some sort of insight into something. But yeah, thank you all for watching the show, and we will see you next week.
Bye.